Welcome to Reaper Life, Episode 4. In this episode, we do the Legend of Two-Toed Tobias in Three Barrel Cove on Reaper 7 Skulls. It's our first 7 Skull completion video of the series. There will be many more. It's a good time to remind viewers, maybe you're coming back after a long break, or maybe you've sort of written off Three Barrel Cove, that as of a few years ago when it got a makeover, that this is some of the best XP in the game at this level range. There's a whole bunch of like 20,000 XP quests out here. And every life, I do most of them. Don't do Prove Your Worth. It seems like it'd just be more trouble than it's worth on Reaper. And I don't do Scoundrels Run. I'm just not a big fan of that quest. I always get confused by the overlapping map, and so I don't even bother with it. But do all the rest. And at this point, at this level range, we're starting to get into quests where we've treated them more seriously. We have done higher skulls in some of these quests, and so, this is where we're at, like with this one, doing R7. And I mentioned in the last intro that, this whole series is just a snapshot in time of where we're at. Here we are 5 months into Reaper mode, and I talked about how, working up the ladder of skulls, starting low and working up, and how I've been taking very detailed notes on what skull rating we did, how easy we thought it was, who was in the party, etc. And each life, trying to push it if we can. If last life we did this one on R6 and we thought it was no problem, well then this life we're doing it on R7. And I've already captured a few 9 skull completions that you're going to see later on in the series, which I'm very excited to share with you. We've got some great moments ahead. And I was just talking, with a couple of guildies last night about how, just 5 months in, here we are doing some 9 skull quests. We were doing a whole lot of 8 skulls too, and I'm talking about doing these just head on. I'm not talking about hiding in, in safe spots and on ledges. Like I said before, it's not that you're not going to occasionally see some of these archers, hop up on a box or something, but that's not how we're getting these quests done. It's not methods we're using to do the whole quest. And I know that next life, because of how we did on some of these 9 skulls, that we're going to be doing some 10 skulls next life. And we're really excited for that. So just 5 months in, that's where we're at. I mean, we're doing some of these 8 and 9 skulls, and we're thinking, it wasn't that bad. It's not that we're not dying. I mean, when we get to some of these higher skull videos, you're going to see me die a lot. But that's part of the Reaper experience. At this point in the series, they still know that I'm recording them. So I think it might be next episode or so that I stop telling them that I was recording. Because like I said before, I really want to capture a more genuine experience. But, we're only basically in like day 2 of us grouping together in this life. Alright, let's get to episode 4, R7, Legend of Two-Toed Tobias. Sounds terrible.
DDO is what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of like a fixed game. It only appeals to old time players.
And pen and paper. That's what got me into this. Pen and paper.
And pen and paper is the only reason I even tried this one.
Well, I almost died just swimming there. I hate not having my strength item.
That would have been fantastic. Nice.
Reaper.
Did you just say Reaper and there wasn't a Reaper?
Yeah, there is. It's in the plans.
You're already on notice for what you did in repossession.
You don't care.
You don't cry Reaper when there's no Reaper. What the hell's wrong with you?
I got an ache in my back. My knee gets all funny when it. Oh shit, I'm dying.
Are you gonna drown, Meister, really?
Yeah.
I've
I
got...
don't have enough strength for this.
And there's no way for me... There's no way for me to throw you a heal. I can't jump high enough to get a wand off.
You can drink pots underwater. Not that you're going to get much from it this game.
Do you need some potions, Meister?
I'm drinking them right now. Can't you tell how my HP's raising by 5 points? It's cool. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I think.
I hit him once. Okay, guys. Are you guys really running into mobs already? Seriously? We're not even out of the swim.
We have to stick together, guys.
Take one person hit that level. I don't know why the fuck everybody's coming.
Because there's a collectible. This is what happens when we don't stick together, guys. This is what happens when we run ahead, Syax.
Yeah, you fuck with me and play the quest the way it's supposed to be played. We're going to have no issues.
Oh, is that what we're supposed to do? We're supposed to keep up with Syax? We had the cleric back there almost dying, but we should worry about what Syax is doing.
I got the day on the Switch and the collectible. Was already back down the hall. Where the fuck? I mean, were y'all having a picnic?
So did you miss that whole conversation about how the cleric was having a hard time swimming?
Okay, you guys can't talk and swim at the same time?
We were figuring it out.
Are we videoing this?
Yep. It will be a good example of what happens when you don't work together.
I'm just here to buckle shit and do a pod.
I'm here to prevent drowning.
Perhaps you and I were action line this to do a swap before.
Oh, dude, I should switch my underwater action on.
You mean you have one?
Yeah.
Damn fucking dumbass.
I swim pretty good when I'm dead.
You don't have to go down.
And you're lightweight when you're dead because you have no body.
Go turn all that shit, Meister. Meister. By turn all that shit, I mean like actually go up there and get out of the water and hit your turn undead thing.
He was re-equipping his armor.
I don't care about his armor.
It's my fortification item.
He doesn't need armor to turn undead.
If you turn this shit, you don't have to worry about anything.
I got no DPS against these guys. With my weapon. Like do 5 damage with Call Lightning. That's unmaximized and unpowered. Remnant. Shrine's coming up. Did you cast that spell on yourself that lets you turn better, Meister?
Yeah.
Wonder why you're not able to destroy these skeletons. It's because maybe it's because it's R7? Thought we were doing Reaper 7.
These are deckhand skeletons and all hands on deck.
I think the turning dice is spread. Or did you take my turning?
Not yet. It's still nice DC.
Reaper.
Yeah, I was just giving you a heal.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd be able to like destroy all this stuff when you turned it.
Yeah, I think these are just stronger skeletons, or I'm getting bad rolls.
The other ones were CR6.
These are CR9.
These are.
Yep.
I ran out of turns.
Alright, that's the list.
Go ahead and use the shrine, man.
Hang on. Yeah, I rolled a 1 right there.
Lost soul.
Yeah,
Fuck that.
sorry, I was downstairs.
There's a next domain before I die. Oh!
This guy's dynamite.
It's pandemonium in here.
Stone him if you got. Well, he's almost dead. Champ chest. Ina, you can have these. This is the very end of my day, and I am really tired. But we wanted to do the level 5 video so people could
Little mama can't get a bird.
peg up against, so we could take 6 and then peg up against 8 if we wanted to. Some people are getting a little bit concerned about feeling like they are being throttled a little bit on the leveling. Some people named Syax. Sykes and I struggle. We go back and forth. He's very impatient, and he's always wanting to run ahead, and that was, what just happened was a good example. He didn't want to wait for the rest of us, and yeah, we weren't exactly being quick, but it's a good example of how impatience so often, when you're in your hurry, it just causes more problems than it's worth. As people die, and then it slows you down. You got to run people back to get res, whatever. It's not worth. You're better off just waiting and working together. At least that's been my experience. In these R7s, this isn't time to run off and do your own thing. And like I said, it's been a struggle.
I'm gonna save that when I run out of turns. I have 6 more left.
Sykes and I have very different play styles. He's a very good player, but it's just,
Yeah, but
like I said, we have very different play styles.
don't waste the turn on one little mod.
Oh, I got 2. I got a champion. This guy.
Skeletons all undead have really shit fort saves, so the stoning works really well on them. We want to go this other way first on the heroic version.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I got 2 directions on this one.
I think I'm going to go back and use that secret passage shrine just because I can. Another thing that Sykes and I struggle with is, he wants to do every optional there is. And I think I talked about that in the Dragonborn project. Because he and I, we've been running actually a lot of lives together just because our schedules coincided. We haven't run a ton together before that, just mostly like guild raids, and actually quite a few epics over the years we've run a lot together, but not we never really like ran lives together before this racial stuff. And so the differences in our playstyle have really come out since Reaper mode, and these racial lives have become a thing.
I got lost.
You're gonna go underwater, under the ship, and there's like a crack that you can go further down in. It's really easy to miss, and then you're gonna go through an underwater tunnel. It's gonna curve to the east.
Thank God it's not a puddle or I'd drown.
Are there even any mobs to fight up here?
Yeah, there's some methods up there.
Okay.
Not sure when they spawn.
Well, the DM message just said they attack, but
But your shield break. One's a champ.
Vorpal
Yeah,
don't
Vorpal
care.
don't give a shit.
Vorpal don't care. You're gonna hear that throughout this whole series.
Everybody stand on the wheel.
Talked about the value of Vorpals, paralyzers, disruptors, and smiters. It doesn't matter if it's a champion, as long as it's not a champion with Death Ward, which some of them do, but most of them don't. Vorpal, you get a 20, that champ's dead. Doesn't matter how little damage your weapons do. It doesn't matter how much damage reduction it has. You roll a 20, it's dead. Vorpals are so awesome in these Reaper quests. And for a lot of these champions, I mean, if people are using Vorpals, you're going to roll a 20 before you would DPS that mob down. Some of these champions have ridiculous amounts of hit points, and with actually, I guess it's not the amount of hit points that they have that's ridiculous. It's just that our damage is so attenuated that it takes so long to beat them down. We have 2 collectibles, I believe, at the top of this ladder on Heroic. One of them is where the epic one is, and then there's another one across from that. Yep. So you got the Adventurers pack down here. And then the mushroom, and I fell.
I'm gonna use that secret shrine. Wait, it's gone?
Yeah, we're done. You might as well use this shrine. Oh, it doesn't really matter. This is the end.
As we know it. But I still find.
Stone. That's from the Petrifying Runestone. DC of 24. What happened to the Plague Reaper? Did you kill it?
Still have.
Oh, I see it. Alright, I'm gonna use that last
Go ahead
shrine.
and grab that soul.
Actually loaded up Flaming Sphere this life because sometimes monsters will attack it even though it doesn't really do anything. Sometimes good to just use as distraction. But I'm trying to get a feel for how valuable it is. I'm not convinced at this point, but I haven't used it much. It's really slow to move around too.
He ran up on us and fell. Thank you for
Man, sit back here and die like a man.
No.
Nimvin here has a phobia of Plague Reapers. They just seem to always go after him. It's pretty ridiculous. So at this point, he's been, emotionally.
I had underwater action this whole time.
He's been emotionally damaged. He's damaged goods because of Plague Reapers. Alright, here we go.
Reaper.
Let's work on trash first. Nice work. Almost 22 grand. Rats. 23 minutes. 844 Reaper XP. That's not bad.
Get another 22 from me.
I'm running a 10% pot right now, I think. I think it's still going. There's just a daily roll one. Oh, maybe not. I don't see it. Maybe it must have wore off. Well, thanks for watching our level 5 Reaper Life video.